Okay, today's video is part 2 of how to build discipline and how to have discipline in your life. In the first video I spoke about changing your whole mindset, your whole psychology around approaching things that intimidate you, where you want to be disciplined, i.e. the gym, diet, exercising, etc. In today's video I want to focus on how to build discipline in the area of overcoming social anxiety and socializing with people. So again, it's like I said in the last video, a lot of people will be intimidated to socialize when they're shy and they're nervous and they've got anxiety, and I totally understand that. I've experienced that years ago as well. They will be intimidated and uncomfortable to go and speak to people or meet their family and friends or people that they know or at work, because they don't want to get nervous around them. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. But if you change your way of thinking about these feelings and anxieties, you can get excited rather than intimidated. Again, it's about changing that relationship to fear. So obviously none of us enjoy being uncomfortable to a certain degree. No one likes getting embarrassed or shy or not being able to maintain eye contact or stuttering or freezing up. You know, no one likes that feeling. I don't particularly like it either. But if you can change the way that you view that, and if you can know that you can overcome this, you're not going to feel like this forever. It's a temporary process of building confidence that will start to give you the discipline to go and socialize, especially when you focus on what you're going to gain as opposed to what you're going to lose. So if you focus on embarrassment, shame, and what are people going to think about you, you're focusing on what am I going to lose. But if you focus on what you're going to gain, example being, okay, if I go to an event and there's lots of people and I get nervous or awkward or embarrassed and they look at me or judge me, or I'm worried that they're going to think negative things about me, at least when the event's over and you get home and your emotions settle down, or as a few days pass, you can look back and go, okay, I might have felt a bit embarrassed and awkward, but at least I went and done it. And that makes me feel good because I faced my fear. I didn't back out despite being uncomfortable, despite me feeling that I let myself down or I wasn't as relaxed as I hope I would have been. I still did it. I still made progress. So it's that focusing on what you're going to gain is focusing on the confidence. But we often worry about the event, but we don't focus on how we're going to feel later on. So I want to give you an example, and I like sharing these old stories. And I was joking with my client the other day, he was younger than me, and I said, this is what happens when you start growing old gracefully. You tell younger people stories about your life and you bore them to death. But he said, no, he said, honestly, you're not boring me, I'm enjoying it. But who knows, I probably was boring him, but at least I helped him. And I told him about the old days when I used to spar in Fitzroy Lodge. This is, I'm getting nervous saying it. This is almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago. And I tried to explain to him so he didn't feel ashamed of his fears. I was terrified. I was so frightened that my first few sparring sessions I froze up and I got more uncomfortable because I was thinking in my head, let me breathe. I was thinking in my head, oh God, what is the trainer thinking about me? He must think I'm such a weak man. He must think like, what's wrong with this guy? Why can't he just spar? I couldn't throw punches back, right? So the guy I was sparring with took some pity on me. That's what a strong man does, and he kind of backed off and just went easy on me because he could see that I was new, nervous, and I just froze up with fear. When I left the gym later on, although I felt humiliated and I felt like I let myself down, I felt like I let everyone down. I felt like I let my dad down, my parents, myself. I felt like I let my trainer down. I embarrassed myself, even though this isn't factual. A couple of weeks later, I felt a little bit better. Why? Because I said to myself, well, at least I did it. Years ago, I couldn't say that. I didn't have the courage to leave my house. So I could build something from that. I could build confidence. I could build satisfaction. I could also take comfort in the fact that I can go again and give it another shot, see if I can do better this time, which I did. And I continued. I continued to plow through the fear, the anxiety. Sometimes I'd vomit in the toilet, I'd be sick, diarrhea, nerves, freezing up. I just kept putting myself through those feelings. And as I was doing that, my mindset started to change. And I started to focus on, not focusing on what am I going to lose in the sparring? What if I lose? What if I get knocked down? What if I get tired? What if the guy outclasses me? What if everyone in the gym is watching and they're judging me, saying he's weak, he's rubbish? I stopped focusing on that, and I started focusing on how am I going to feel after. I was about to say, how is the hamburger going to taste after sparring? But I didn't eat burgers back then. All right, I might have had a couple, right? Might have had a couple. But no, honestly. And that's when my whole confidence and attitude started to change around facing the fear of sparring. And guess what happened? I started to do better in sparring. And the trainer said one day, I told my client this, because I was also trying to change his mentality around him thinking that a man can't cry because he's weak, which is not true. That's nonsense. That's taking things out of context. When the trainer said to me when I was younger, well done today, when I left the gym, I started crying. I cried because it meant so much to me that I got his approval, being that at the start, he didn't give me any compliments. I thought he was, looking down on me. I thought I'd let him down. So I felt proud of myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I did well. So my whole attitude changed. It changed from, what am I going to lose if I socialize and I get nervous? Or what am I going to lose if I go in the ring and I don't do well in sparring? I stopped thinking like that, and my emotions changed. And obviously I took all those experiences, I took that into socializing. And that's why I love this topic. And that's why sometimes when I speak about these things, as you can see, and I'm fine, I do get a little bit nervous, and I do get a bit excited, and I get tongue-tied, because I've got great memories. It means so much to me, because it's changed my life, and it's helped me to help so many other men to overcome fears in their life. So this mindset. So when you're socializing, you don't go, well, what if I start getting awkward, embarrassed? You go, well, what if I feel better after? Which you will. And if you stick at this, and if you keep socializing and you discipline yourself with this mindset, with this outlook, and you develop these tools, you're going to be so confident, guys. And I mean this in a healthy way, not in an egotistical way. Your friends and family are not going to recognize you in a positive way, because you're going to be so much more confident and happy and outgoing. And I think that's a great thing. And you can be yourself more. And that's discipline. That's the way that you change your whole relationship with fear and anxiety in any area of life. In this case today, I know I've deviated and I've spoken about the old days in the gym, but again, because they're applicable. Because if you're terrified, like I was when I was younger, if you're petrified of people, and you're petrified of public speaking, you're petrified of everything, and you're petrified of going in a boxing gym and sparring, if you can master that, if you can conquer that fear, then of course you can go and do public speaking, which I did later on. Of course you can go to a business meeting. Of course you can face the fear of going to a family gathering. Because of the experience from the sparring, it's a no-brainer. Transferable skills, which is what I teach on all my confidence coaching programs, and which is what has helped me to change my life. And it's also not giving up. Now I know some of you are going to love this. Some of you are going to say, yeah, but what if? Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Listen, guys, I know you guys appreciate when I'm honest. You're going to have to accept that you're going to get embarrassed at some point. You're going to get nervous. You're going to display. You're going to show the signs, but it's not the end of the world. Actually, it can be a whole change. You've got to keep going. Because we can get silly when we get into this stuff. Because at the end of the day, everybody's got nervous. No one's perfect. Everyone's quite embarrassed. But you're not going to stay there. So you're going to have to work through these things. And it's the same for me. I had to go through getting embarrassed in sparring. At least on my own, how I felt. I had to go through days of getting tired and getting hiding and getting beaten up a little bit in order to get to the point where I could do well in sparring and get the better of the guy that got the better of me the week before. And I had to go through getting tired and getting sick to get to the point where I didn't throw up, and I had the stamina to do 3 rounds, or at a certain point I did 6 rounds, kind of proud of that, and not get tired. You can't have one without the other. But if you change your psychology, and if you're prepared for potential social mistakes, even though I don't think they're mistakes on a broad level, but according to, obviously how we feel, you can overcome it, all right? And that's something that you build up to in time. I'm not saying do it all in one day, one step at a time. Do what you can today, and then you build on that. So discipline is doing something that you don't want to do, doing something that you are intimidated to do, but doing it anyway, knowing that you're going to be a better person later on. That is one explanation. I really do also like Mike Tyson's explanation. I think it's from Muhammad Ali. I could be wrong. You guys can correct me in the box below, or from Tyson's trainer Cuss, when he says, discipline is doing something that you hate, but doing it like you love it. It's another great explanation. It's true. So it's doing things that are difficult. And I think I'm going to share some of mine. It's doing something that part of you don't want to do, but another part of you knows that you need to do it. You need to do it for the greater good, for yourself and for other people to be a better person. And that's discipline. That's one explanation. You might have your own, which would be even better. I want you guys to have your own explanation, so you can have your own quote. Or maybe you'll agree on mine or Tyson's or Muhammad Ali's, but you can have your own version, explain it in your own language. But ultimately, it's getting you to take the action. So that's the goal on this channel today, to get more of you to be disciplined with your socializing. And I know sometimes I get it, because a lot of my clients are very, they can be very logical and very analytical, and they can overthink everything and analyze, and I've been the same, right? So it's not a judgment, it's just an observation. And they sometimes are very specific. So if I'm doing a video, they're like, oh, you mean with, you mean with talking to women? And I'm like, no, I just mean in general. It could be talking to women. It's talking to people in general. I'm just trying to get you to socialize more with people, family, friends. It's not just boxing it and going, oh, this is just about how you'd approach a first date, or a job interview, or a business meeting, or at work. It's in general. It's in general, right? If that makes sense. So you're not, you're not nitpicking, and you're not limiting yourself, and you're not thinking in such a small, narrow way. Which is why I deviate, and I talk a lot about boxing and sparring, and I kind of I connect that onto social anxiety, because it is quite similar in ways. It's different but the same. Mr. Miyagi, same but different, different but the same, in that the feelings are very similar. The feelings of going in a ring and sparring when you're nervous and you're in the spotlight is pretty much the same to when you're doing a public talk presentation. It's pretty much the same when you first go to a business meeting, or if you're nervous about a business meeting, which most entrepreneurs are, and I am as well when I've got to do them. But sometimes I'm not, sometimes I am. So it's not really nitpicking about, oh, it's only for here. It's giving you a broader understanding. But obviously today, yes, we are focusing on social anxiety, but I wanted to explain so much value, because this, I don't know if I'm the only one who feels like this, hopefully not, but this always makes me passionate. It inspires me, knowing that if I learn something, it can better me in all areas of life, not just one. So it's not just going to better my relationships with women, or it's not just going to benefit my relationships with my family or my friends or my clients, but it's going to help me in every area. I'm going to be better on YouTube. I'm going to be better in life. I'm going to be a better person to other people, and I think that's great. So if you guys want to ask me any questions on this, let me know in the box below. I'm going to continue doing more videos on this area, and yeah, we'll get some more questions going, and hopefully you're gonna. My goal is, I don't just want you to watch this, right, for entertainment, or because it's interesting stories, or for some of you I might be boring you. That's fine. I want you guys to actually take the action. I want you to join the gym. I want you to, improve your career, be more social with your family and friends, and get out and gain more confidence in yourself, and travel more, and just live a better life and be a better person, right? Let me know in the box below if there's anything that I missed. And as always, if you want to invest in paid coaching, confidence coaching, to help you to build confidence and discipline in any area of life, especially with getting over social anxiety, send me an email. My email address is in the box below, and I'll get back to you and see if we can work together, right? Appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you next video. Bye.